Let's talk about this and bring in our panel now. We have CEO and president of 40 Days for Life, Shawn Carney, with us, and also the CEO of the Abortion Survivors Network and abortion survivor herself, Melissa Ohden. Welcome into you both. Appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So pro-abortion activists will argue that 15 weeks is just too early to guarantee if a woman knows she's even pregnant. So it's unlikely that those who want basically, abortion on demand, we should call it, access, will compromise at DeSantis' level here. So in effect, by doing this, he is not being more centrist. And I wonder if DeSantis is giving more lax approach than he governed in his own state here. Does he want to be more centrist? Does he want to appeal to donors? What's this move here? It's not centrist enough for some of the folks, but it still is a move different than what he did in Florida. Shawn, first to you.
Yeah, I do think it's a centrist approach. I think it's a compromise, sort of boring Republican approach to just check the abortion checkbox and move on and not deal with it. 15 weeks is 6% of all abortions in the United States. I don't know what happens if you're 14 weeks and 6 days. Right. Something happens in that final 24 hours where now you get to live amongst us. It's much better. He should have bragged, as Trump has botched the abortion issue by criticizing the very popular and scientifically based heartbeat bills. DeSantis should own that, and he did in the debate. He did say that the pro-life issue is a winner. He is certainly an example of that. Greg Abbott, where I live in Texas, is an example of that. Governor Kemp is an example of that. The bad candidates who fumbled around and compromised on abortion got their clock cleaned in 2022 and should have. So I don't think he needs to do this 15-week. I think he just said he supports it because all the Republicans support it. But in no way is it some kind of courageous stance.
Right, Melissa, sometimes, is this about donors, perhaps? We do know that some folks want a more moderate stance, so there are independent voters who are attracted to the Republican Party. A donor who gave $20 million to DeSantis' super PAC out in Nevada, a hotel entrepreneur, had said he wouldn't give any more money. Abortion was one of the topics. He said he wanted DeSantis to be more centrist. Do you think this is to keep donors giving to his campaign?
I think we're all trying to figure out, right, what is the driving force behind this? And I think what we have to acknowledge is that it's about policy over politics, right? And that's why we're all grabbing at straws, trying to figure out why we see lots of people changing stances in various interviews and debates, when we see then the abortion industry and the lobby and the media being so consistent in what they want. We see NARAL, who changed now to be reproductive freedom for all. So there's a consistent message time and time again on their side. And so for me, it is about principle. It is about the policy and not politics. And Shawn, your point is so true. As somebody who survived an abortion at 31 weeks, when the abortionist thought 18 to 20, the outcome for my life would have been the same, whether it was 15 weeks or 6 weeks. And that's what we have to face in not only the Republican Party, but our culture. This is what all of those things mean. I would not be alive no matter what that standard was.
So well put. And we want to also highlight all September. You've been putting a highlight on abortion, Babies Survive Abortion Awareness Month, and that is this month. And we encourage people to find out about abortion survivors like yourself. But finally, with just about a minute and a half left, I do want to hit on one other question for you both, because this debate over abortion does sort of play into is there a room for centrist views in politics? Because there was an episode of the Armchair Expert podcast this week, and host Dax Shepard interviewed a radical LGBTQ advocate, Jonathan Van Ness, and he said, I'm okay with trans kids, but I will not go as far as having trans kids who are minors have operations and competing in sports. And this was the reaction when it came to just saying, I'm okay with everything but kids.
I don't love how you're framing it right now, which is if the right was educated, they would pick our side. I reject that. They are conservative. They don't like how quickly the country's changing. I understand that. I can sympathize with that. They have different fears than we do. It's not because they're dumb or uneducated. They have a difference of opinion.
I could just cry because I'm so tired of having to fight for little kids because they just want to be included. I wish that people were as passionate about little kids being able to be included or grow up as they were about fictitious women's fairness in sports. I have to tell you, I am very tired.
Sobbing because they couldn't handle a Joe Biden voting Democrat not going along with their radical trans agenda. I'll just give you each, a few seconds to react. Shawn, to you.
Well, I'm not going to start crying if that's what you expect. that's just the poor guy or whatever he is. Look, there is no room for a lot of compromise when it comes to the abortion issue. This is a winner. We are losing on so many cultural fronts. The overturning of Roe, the fact that pregnancy resource centers outnumber abortion providers 5 to 1.
And it was about trans and kids, too. I mean, we're talking about the unborn, but we're also talking about people who maybe are Democrats who are saying, I don't want kids to be mutilated. And even that is too much to drive someone to tears. I wish I had more time, but your final thought here, Melissa, on that spectacular sort of meltdown.
I've spent 46 years of my life crying over the fact that babies like me are being killed in abortion still today.
Thank you so much. Powerful and always a pleasure to have you both in. We'll have you back soon. Shawn and Melissa, thank you.
Thank you.